This is an explanation of how to unlock a door, and then you use a crowbar, and then from that point it will always be open. It's done with one variable. First, when the user clicks on the lock, a message will say that this is a lock. If they click on the handle, it will say that the trapdoor is locked. But setting it up with inventory, if the user drags a wire from the inventory to the lock, there is code set behind it. The first one being open small door equals 1. This is set to 1 so that the code knows, the application knows, that the wire has been used. Then a message is displayed telling the user that the door is now unlocked. So, now that it's unlocked, the door does not open. This point would be a good place to put a sound under that code that the lock has been unlocked. But if the user clicks on the handle now, there's code behind it when they click on the handle. Open small door if you have not used the wire will equal 0. So you have not used the wire, then you try to open the door, but it's still locked. But if you have used the wire, open small door will equal 1. And when it does, then when you click on the handle, it will go to the frame floor number 2. Let's take a look. On floor number 2, you notice that it's partway open now because you've pulled it open. The only problem is it's stuck. This is where the user has to use the crowbar. There's a problem. I do think there's one issue here. You really need to have more hot spots around the edge of the door. You can't really expect the user to find this hot spot along this edge. If you do, make sure that when they click on it with their hand, that it tells them it's stuck, and this would be a good spot to place something to force it open. This way they will know that they need something on this edge. Now, if they use the crowbar here from the inventory and they drag it to this edge, there's code behind this. It will set open small door variable to 2 now. It's set to 1 when the wire is used. Now it's set to 2 when the crowbar is used. When they use the crowbar, it will automatically go to floor number 3. Suggestion would be to add some sound here of the door cracking open from using the crowbar. So they use the crowbar, and when they do, it goes to frame 3. Floor 3, which is a frame that has the door wide open. From this point on, if they come to this door, it will always go to frame 3 with the door open because the variable is set to number 2. Here's the frame that the user goes to find the small door. When they click here, if you look at the code, I check to see the open small door variable. If it's 0, then they have not used the wire or the crowbar, and it will go to floor number 1, where it's still locked. If they have used the wire, then it will go to floor number 2, where it's partway open. If they use the wire and the crowbar, then open small door is set to 2, and it will always go to number 3. So after they use the wire and crowbar, when they come back to the door, it will always go to number 3 with the door open. Now let's see what it looks like. Before I demonstrate, I wanted to show you that I have some test variables. When they come to floor number 1, where it's locked, I have set inside the frame properties when they first get here. I have already added the crowbar and the wire to the inventory. You will not want this during an actual game, so please put a single quote in front of each of these and say OK here, so that these are not used during a game. Otherwise, they'll automatically have the crowbar and the wire to use. So be sure and comment those out. So now let's take a look and see how it works. I don't know how the video on this is going to work because it changes resolution, but we will try it anyway. So here we are in the cemetery. You notice the cursor changes, and we have found the hotspot where it goes to floor number 1. And we have not opened it yet, so it will go to floor number 1. Here we are at floor number 1. You will notice that when you click, and we should probably change that to a hand, when you click on the lock, it says that the lock is on there as you found the lock. If you click on the handle, it tells you that you found the door, but it's locked. So now, because we have these in the inventory, we can drag the wire down to the lock. When you do, you get a message telling you that the door is unlocked. And this was set from that variable, open small door is now set to 1. And because of that, when they click on the handle, it will go to the next frame, which is floor number 2. Now the variable is set to 1. The only way they can open this is with a crowbar. Now I notice that we do have a hand here, that's good. And it tells you there's no use, the door won't budge. Now you might want to give them a hint here that they should use a crowbar, or they should use some kind of device. So if they use a crowbar on this edge where these hot spots are, it will set the variable to 2 and will open the door. Now what happens if we leave here and come back? If we go back to the floor after opening it completely up, it will show the door wide open because the variable is set to 2. I hope this helps.